And gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. Now, before everybody jumps down my throat, I'm really open-minded to the idea of flat Earth because the reason why is because we've been lied to so much about everything, and you guys have to realize that. So that's one big thing when you're going into any subject is remember how much we've been lied to in the past. So always keep an open. I don't really think about it too much, but who I have with me, but I do because it's important because we want to know what's going on in our reality. So, and who I have with me today is an expert in this subject. It's Flat Earth Dave. And he has the Flat Earth podcast and he has the Flat Earth Clock app it's an app that he has that he developed. And he's going to share with us today all about Flat Earth, the reality of it, the reality of NASA, the reality of the ice wall, the reality of what's maybe on the other side of the ice wall, if it's a civilization, what he thinks aliens are, UFOs, the whole 9 yards of what our reality actually is. So I want to welcome David. He's a researcher, and he gave up everything to discover flat Earth, and teach people about what we live on. So I respect that a lot, and I respect him coming on. I want to thank him. I want to give him a big warm welcome, Dave Weiss. Thank you for coming on the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Robert. Thanks for having me. And I was looking through your channel, and you've had a lot of people on. One guy you had on, Brad Owen. What's his name?
Brad Olson.
Brad Olson. And I'm going to be talking to him in the future. We have just an offline conversation set up, and he, with his Antarctica research and all of his stuff, he doesn't realize how much it ties into flat Earth. And we're going to have an epic conversation. So.
That's awesome. I'd love to see you guys talk. Brad's a nice guy. He's a really cool guy, and he knows a lot about things that went on in our past and things that are going on now. He writes books on esoteric knowledge, so I can see him being really open minded to the subject too.
Well, some of this is going to cross his beliefs, but those are just beliefs. But all of the stuff that he has evidence for actually works better on a flat Earth, and hopefully, I'm going to point to some doors and here. Tonight, talking to people listening, especially people out there that, oh my God, flat earther. Look at the guy. He's got a shirt that says flat earther on it. I'm not going to try here to convince you tonight. I'm here to show you doors that you never knew were there. I'm here to show you that somebody brainwashed you into thinking boats go over the horizon because they showed you a model boat being pulled over a model globe. Okay, yeah, boats will disappear over the horizon, but that's not why they disappear on Earth and what we see. So for those of you that think this is crazy, just stick with it. And I have an offer. It's called the Flat Earth App Challenge. Watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. And if you still think the Earth is a globe and can give me one proof of the globe, I've got 3 Bitcoins for you. 3. How does that sound? Are you there? Did you? Yeah, am I coming through okay? Because you're lagging a little bit.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're lagging just a little bit. You have my internet is moving just fine, so it's got to be on your end. So keep an eye out.
Let me close out my screens.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So why don't you start off because I can present, I can say the same things, but what's your understanding? What questions do you have that don't make sense for you?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how does it start off? Obviously been lied to about what we live on. Now, why would they want to do that? What do you think? Why are they obscuring the truth of what our reality is? That it's a flat Earth instead of a globe, or whatever. Why would they say it's a globe even? Why is it something that's just that we can't even comprehend because we're maybe interdimensional or something like that? And I know that's going a little bit far, but.
Well, it's not. This whole interdimensional thing, flat Earth doesn't rule it out. Interdimensions, in my opinion, work better on a flat Earth, but that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss physical things, right? I'm not going to tell you to look at the lights in your ceiling to describe the shape of your floor. I'm going to ask you to go measure the shape of your floor. I'm going to ask you if you could lay down on one end of the room and look across and see a marble sitting on the floor on the other end of the room, right? We can measure and test things, and what it absolutely proves is we're on a stationary level, horizontal plane that has no curvature. You don't have any curvature, no ball. So jumping right to the why, that's the question that I usually get after people throw up their hands after I knock down single thing that they think is a proof. This is what they want you to believe, okay? Once upon a time, there was nothing. it exploded and became everything. You know, I'm describing the Big Bang, right? Which was made up by a priest. Okay, a priest made this story up, not a scientist, right? And no better than today's scientists anyway, because they're pseudoscientists, they're scientismists, if that's a word. They wanted to believe nothing exploded, and then all of a sudden, all of the rocky bits turned into spinning balls, and all of the gases turned into even bigger balls and burst into flames and left a vacuum in between. So now you have to imagine burning balls of gas in a vacuum. That's impossible. Okay? With their gravity holding on to these other rocks, where those other rocks are holding on to smaller rocks, moons, but the sun's gravity ignores the moons and just holds on to Earth and Pluto, but ignores all the moons in between because the planets are holding on to them. This is ridiculous, okay? They want you to believe that you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, you're orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, you're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, you're moving 4.5 billion miles a year through a space vacuum, but somehow nothing changes. Every year, the same. If you go out tonight and look at the stars, next year, same night, same time, I'm blurred out. The stars will be in the exact same place. They want you to feel insignificant. I don't know what's going on with my camera here. They want you to feel insignificant and in a godless or distant God universe at best. Okay?
Yeah.
There we go. And so they want you to feel like you're on a speck flying through an infinite universe in a distant God or godless universe where an asteroid could take you out at any moment, where we're running out of water, we're running out of land, we're running out of food, we're running out of dinosaur juice, okay, which, you know, which somehow makes oil. Nonsense. All complete and total nonsense. They want you to believe in shortages. They want you to live in fear. They don't want you to know that you are a multi-dimensional spiritual powerhouse at the center of creation. Okay?
That's amazing.
Yeah, you know it, and most, probably a lot of your listeners know that your thoughts create your reality, right? Yes. Everything you have in your life is because of the way you thought. If you think crappy thoughts, you get crappy things. Okay? Yeah. And I always throw out there, people go, well, I want $1 million. When you say, I want $1 million, you're really saying, I don't have $1 million. I'm never going to have $1 million, and I'm going to be broke my whole life. That's what you're really saying. You can't lie to the universe. The universe knows what you're thinking, okay? And so your thoughts bring in your reality. Everything you have in your life is because of the way you think. If you're a crappy person, you're going to attract other crappy people, okay? Yeah. And you know, people that live paycheck to paycheck live paycheck to paycheck because that's their vibration. Other people make millions of dollars, right? Wow, they're doing great. And then they screw up and they're millions of dollars in debt. Now imagine that paycheck to paycheck person is now millions of dollars in debt. Man, he's screwed. But the guy that makes millions will come out of that debt and make millions again. And then he'll lose it again because that's the way he thinks, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so we are what we think. And if you just, you know, kind of summing it all up, we are here in this world. There is a creator. I'm jumping right to creator because this world is intelligently designed. And who that creator is, that's your own personal journey. Religions are to divide us. All these different religions are just endless wars of control. Okay? And I'm not saying the religions are wrong. Like if you're a Christian or a Muslim and you're a good person and you find the creator that way, awesome. That works for you. You don't have to put a label on it. You just have to understand that we're here in these meat suits with a spark of the creator in it, which I call our soul, right? And our mission here is not to lose control of our soul. There's rules here. I can't kill somebody. I'll lose my soul, okay? I can't break common law, right? Basically, leave me alone, mind your own business, help your neighbor, be a good person, and expand the mind of the creator. That's what this is all about, but they don't want you to know that. They want you watching the news. If you turn on the news, what do you watch? Murder, fear, death, war, the boogeyman bug, right? All of this stuff. Just fear, 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 fear. They steer your mind with the news. NEWS, north, east, west, south. They're steering your mind. Okay?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what does the shape of the world, how does that affect my life? Well, It's the flat isn't a shape. Flat is just a description of something that's horizontal and level.
Is
Okay.
it a disc? I did some research on I heard that that we're on the flat earthers think we're on an Earth disc, right?
So that is so wrong, but that is showing you if you Google, like go into YouTube and search circumnavigation on a flat Earth or top 10 reasons the Earth is flat or top 10 flat Earth proofs. As long as you put flat Earth in there, you get fed the same results. All propaganda, all flat Earth Society stuff. What is the Flat Earth Society? They want you to go to the Flat Earth Society because the Flat Earth Society will tell you that we're a disk floating in space, right? CNN just did a hit piece, with this new book, Kelly Wheel's book, Over the Edge. All nonsense. No flat earther believes anything in her book that she claims we believe, right? In the Flat Earth Society, it says we're a disk that we rise up at 9.8 meters per second, and that creates gravity. The only people that believe that are globe believers that don't know why they believe in a globe and have the wrong idea what flat Earth is. Okay?
So what exactly is flat Earth then?
Yeah,
Like,
great.
what are we living on?
Great question. Good question. So, in the globe model, they want you to believe we're living on one of these. These are all from NASA. Okay? These are paintings. This is the blue marble that was on everyone's iPhone, right? It's horrible, right? Horrible, garbage, nonsense, right? So I'm trying to find an image here. I moved a couple things around. So on a globe, they want us to believe that Antarctica is at the bottom of the globe. Do you know one fact they tell us about Antarctica? I mean, you probably know a bunch of facts, but one of the things they tell us about Antarctica, it's the highest land on Earth. It's got the highest average elevation of all the other continents, right? And I always thought, well, maybe that's why it's at the bottom, because it weighs the ball down, right? Silly. But that's a bit of truth. They tell us that that Antarctica is the highest land on Earth, but it's not a continent at a ball. If you go on Google Earth, they say the pictures are taken from satellites. That's a whole other thing. They're really just taken from Google drones and other planes that are taking pictures, and they take all these rectangular, square pictures, and they basically overlay them on each other and line them up and stitch them all together. You've made a collage as a kid. Snap, 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 right? Put it together. Well, they're all squares everywhere except the poles. At the poles, they're pizza slices. Why are they pizza slices? If the Earth is a globe, they should just be squares everywhere and all stitched together around the globe, right? But they're pizza slices. And if you look at the North Pole or the South Pole, not only are they pizza slices, they're cartoons. Okay? They don't show you any real pictures of there. So let's talk real quick. When it rains, water seeks the ultimate base level, right? Water relentlessly seeks the ultimate base level, correct? Think level. So when you get a puddle, where does a puddle form?
On the ground.
On the ground, where? At the top of a hill?
No, at the bottom, like at the lowest point.
At the lowest point. And what contains that puddle? What stops the puddle from flowing away to another spot?
Well, I want to say the gravity, right?
Well, no, not what's holding it down. What's stopping it from flowing away from the puddle that you're standing in, getting your sneakers wet?
It not being slanted towards going downwards.
Well, the land that's surrounding it that's higher than the surface. As long as the land is higher, if you lower the land, the water will flow out and find the next level. Okay.
Yeah.
So a puddle. Large bodies of water at rest need a container, and they lay flat. Large bodies of water, anything bigger than a gallon of water at rest lays flat. Okay, right? A drop of water has surface tension. That's not a large body of water, and it needs a container. A puddle needs a container. A pond needs a bigger container. A lake is a bigger pond, right? You with me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the edge of the lake is where here we go. All my images disappeared. Here we go. At the edge of the lake is the land that's higher than the water. You with me? Okay. If it was lower, the water would flow away. Well, our world pond is the same thing. Okay. This is our giant world pond. Here are all the continents and islands. They're all surrounded by water. But what's the container for our pond? This is the
Antarctica?
shoreline.
No.
Yes, this is all Antarctica. Antarctica is not
You're
at the
saying
bottom of.
Antarctica actually surrounds the whole world.
It surrounds the whole world. Okay? Now, if you think about
Do
this,
we have proof for this? Would you say there's proof?
there's a lot of proof for it. Okay? So I lost a very important picture, but I got to find it. So if we look at Antarctica and they tell us it's this continent at the bottom of a ball, well, they tell us it's like 10 to 13,000 miles around. Okay, so you should be able to get into a boat and circumnavigate it pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the last person to try and circumnavigate it was Captain Cook. And when he did it,
don't they have real rough waters there?
Well, sometimes there are, but it doesn't matter. Rough waters
in general,
right? Rough waters or not. Captain Cook, it took him 3.5 years, and he went over 60,000 miles. Now they tell us the equator, which is halfway between the center. This is the flat Earth map, right on the globe. The equator is 24,000 miles around. Well, down in Antarctica, it's much smaller, but it's not. It took 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. And there's a sailboat race that goes around, supposedly around Antarctica, but it goes like over here, and it's above 50, 55 degrees, and it goes around. And these are you've seen the sailboat race. These are like the highest tech, fastest sailboats in the world, right? Kevlar sails, yeah. and these boats are just amazing. And the way they tell their distance down there is GPS. GPS is run by NASA, right? NASA, we'll get into that shortly. And they say, okay, well, you were at 55 degrees south. You went around. Your trip is 18,000 miles. So they say, okay, well, it took me X amount of days at 18,000 miles. We went an average of 3 miles an hour. The winning boats in that race, according to GPS and the distance they think they traveled, did an average speed of 3 miles an hour. These boats go 20 to 30 miles an hour, okay? It's just those boats do 3 miles an hour when they're tied to the dock, okay? Right? I'm exaggerating here a little bit. But
yeah.
But people use that as an excuse, but they don't look at the numbers. They don't look at, like, these boats are going 3 miles an hour. Well, if they were going, 18 miles an hour, then you do the math and the numbers add up perfectly on a flat Earth. Here's how we prove the Earth is flat and put an end to this stupid fight, okay? And it could be done in one day and not for millions of dollars, okay? You get a bunch of people, you fly them to the base in Antarctica, you get 2 airplanes. You got Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor. You get Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie. You get me, you. We get college professors. We get other flat earthers. We get other globe proponents. And we all get on these 2 planes. One plane flies this way, about 1,000 feet off the ground, just off the shore, and we follow the shoreline. So we can all see it out the window. We don't have to rely on GPS. We don't have to, we can see how fast we're going because we're not that high. And, we've been on a plane. You can look at the ground speed and okay, they're not going 1,500 miles an hour. They're doing average 500 miles an hour. Okay. Well, 5, 6, 7 hours later, both planes, one plane goes this way. Both planes should meet over here. It'll never be done. It can't be done because this is not the setup of the world, all right? This is not how it works. They'd have to go all the way around here, and the gig would be blown, right? Now, I know that Brad went to Antarctica a couple times, and I watched his work on it, and he everything that he says and saw is absolutely true. His assumptions, I don't know all of his assumptions, and I like this guy, and I like his books, and I like everything about him, and I can't wait to talk to him, is he's wrapping his data on a globe, right? Like, if you believe that the Earth is a globe, and I, believe or know that it's flat, and we're out in the middle of the ocean, you're going to look out and say, oh, I see the curve of the Earth. I see the curve, right? Right? You're going to look out and say, I see the curve. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. We go. So you look out and we see the same distance in all directions, right? Our limit of our vision is where the sky meets the ground, right? due to perspective. The sky merges with the ground, and that's as far as we can see. Zoom in, we can see farther. Okay? So when you look out, you see the same distance in all directions, right? If we flip that over.
That is true.
Yeah. So if we flip that over, you're going to see this. This is just the limit of your vision. It's where the sky meets the ground the way your eyes work, okay? And if you draw a straight line across the tangent, your farthest viewing point at 12 o'clock, you get this line and you say, oh, this is Earth curve. And I look at it and I say, no, that's just the limit of your vision. I see a flat Earth, you see a globe Earth because of programming, right? Because you were told, you believed your entire life that the Earth is a globe, but you can't come up with one proof of the globe, one scientific fact of the globe. And, when I talk to people that haven't looked into this, they go, there's 1,000 scientific proofs of the globe. I'm like, can you name one? And they're like, well, not right here, not right now, right? I've been putting this Bitcoin offer out for a couple of years now, and nobody has claimed it. Barely anyone has tried. And when they tried,
That's
they're just
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Antarctica is a very interesting place. You go in Antarctica, there's about 100 different companies that you can take.
Is there proof of the ice wall?
Absolutely. So it's not a wall, it's the shoreline. But before I show you, right here, this peninsula off of South America, this is where everyone goes. There's 100 different companies that you can book a trip. It'll cost you a minimum of 10 grand, to 30, 40, 50 grand to go there for like 3 days on a cruise ship. They don't let you go out here. They keep you right here. They keep you on the boat most of the time. No independent exploration. They show you some penguins and some ice and they kick you out. Okay? No one's looking out here. What's out here? What's out here in the outer space? Right? So when people say ice wall, they think of Game of Thrones, but in reality, it's the shoreline of our world. Antarctica, the plateau is so high that when you get there, it's like 200-foot cliff. It's not a wall. It's the shoreline. That's a cliff. You could think it's a wall, but I think of a wall as a two-sided thing, right? It's not a wall.
Is it a drop-off?
It's a drop up.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
This is the container of our pond, right?
It's a drop. Okay, yeah.
So Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Think of a puddle.
Oh my God! Now I see why you were saying that. Yeah.
So think of a puddle, or a pond.
Is amazing.
The container of the pond is Antarctica, all the way around it. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It holds our world oceans in.
That's amazing.
It is. It is amazing.
Yeah. What's this? Is this footage here? Is this like the real wall? Is that it in real life?
This is actually, there's very few footage of people flying near the wall. And this is footage from a helicopter. I'm not sure who took it. And these are just images. These are just other pictures, old pictures of Antarctica, where, just different images of Antarctica. Antarctica is the shoreline of our world. Now, listen, to prove the Earth is flat, anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. We don't know. And anything above, as high as we can get, for us civilians, it's 120,000 feet with a balloon, okay, is speculation. But I love to speculate. And a lot of people say, Dave, you shouldn't really speculate. But just throwing this out there, okay? Now, you believe in aliens or extraterrestrials?
Yeah, I do. I just had someone on it. There's like some proof probably that there's been some abductions and stuff, and like that's really weird. Like, because I don't understand what that is.
So think about this. Let's talk about distances for a second. So, do you know what the closest star, according to NASA, is? The closest star.
It's Alpha Centauri, right?
Very good. It's 4 point something light years away, which equates to 25 trillion miles. Okay,
that's insane.
Well, so I'm glad you know that it's insane, but people don't understand what a trillion is. If you were traveling at a mile per second, follow me. This is real easy math, but they didn't teach us to think like this. This could be a second grader's question. And most people can't figure it out. If you're traveling at 1 mile per second and you traveled for 1 trillion seconds, how many miles have you gone?
It's going to end up being 35 trillion miles, right?
No. You've just been traveling for 1 trillion seconds at a mile per second. You've gone 1 trillion miles, right? Mile per second.
Yeah.
If you're going a mile per second for 10 seconds, you've gone 10 miles. If you go for 100 seconds, you've gone 100 miles. If you go for 1,000,000,000,000 seconds, you've gone 1,000,000,000,000 miles. So after 1,000,000,000,000 seconds, you're 1/25th of the way to Alpha Centauri. Okay? At a speed of 3,600 miles per hour, which nobody has ever gone. Okay? You're 1/25th of the way. Wait, hold on. Let me just finish this.
Okay.
You're 1/25th of the way there. How long do you think 1,000,000,000,000 seconds is? If you guess it within a week, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
That's a long time.
You want to just take a guess?
It's a long time.
31,000 years. 1,000,000,000,000 seconds. Seconds we're talking about is 31,000 years. You with me?
But what about warp drives and stuff like that? Yeah.
So hang on.
Having wormholes and stargates and stuff like that.
Hang on. You're turn off your camera for a moment. See if you unfreeze. You got a little bandwidth issue. So we're talking about Alpha Centauri is so far away, it's unfathomable. So if an alien luckily was our closest star, that's a long trip to come here and crash, or to, in Roswell or whatever you want to believe. What if the world was set up like this? You ready? This is where we live. This ring is Antarctica. Maybe it's 1,000 miles wide or a couple thousand, whatever it is. And then out here are more oceans and extra land
that they might live at. And that makes sense.
Think about this. Extra territory. Extra terra.
Yeah.
Well, if you lived out here and came in to visit me to the inner space, what might I consider you?
An alien.
An extraterrestrial from where?
Outside of this
outer space, the outer space,
and it's outer space. Oh wow,
the extraterrestrial in outer space.
They're telling us it in plain sight. You're saying, like,
they're right.
They're basically telling us this.
I believe that there are all. This is my belief, and again, I don't have proof. Although I think that there is extraterrestrials roaming around us all the time, and extraterrestrials, they come from the outer space. And, it could go on and on. There could be way more land, right? There could be more rings, and there could be another sun out here. Some people speculate this.
It makes me wonder, Dave. It makes me wonder if we're like some special kind of like project. I want to say like an ant farm. You know what I mean? Like when you see an ant farm, it's like a special project, and all the ants are like working together. I don't know. It's kind of weird, to think that way, but it's like we're so sheltered.
I think that we are in a created world, in having an amazing experience, and that we can really, it's a magical place, for lack of a better word, where we can literally manifest whatever we want if we all work together. The elite are deathly afraid of us coming together, so they divide and conquer. They divided us up by countries. That's fake. In the 1800s, there was a worldwide advanced civilization here. 1800s, not that long ago. Then they divide us up by religions, by sexes, by Sataria, the political parties. They just divide, and divide and conquer. They don't want us coming together, because if we come together, that's when it all falls apart. This is a map that was found, supposedly 10 centuries old, a Japanese map that shows like 30 or 40 other continents outside of Antarctica. What's up with that?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
This is all amazing. This is mind-blowing stuff, man. Like, seriously, this really is. Because I'm open-minded. And when you're open-minded, you see things in a different way. Like, really. Like, it's your app. Yeah.
Don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out. You think, all right? I'm not accusing you of that. But people go, I'm open-minded. Don't walk away from here going, Dave's 100% right. Go, Dave brought up some really interesting questions, and I need to do some more research. That's what I want.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But here's the thing. As I told you before, in 2016, 2017, they changed the algorithm. You search Flat Earth, you get fed propaganda. You get Professor Dave, right? Whether he's a professor or not, he's a straw man idiot that just gaslights the hell out of us. And his videos get promoted. You got Psyop Man Dan, a guy that has men's names tattooed all over his arms. They're very strange. You got these other paid agents out there to literally lead the weak-minded down dead-end hallways, right? So I created this app I basically created it so I can show people when I'm talking to them, but it turned into a whole thing. Every day there's a daily video here, and here's the challenge. You tap this thumbnail, up comes the video of the day. Just watch one video a day while you're having your breakfast, okay? And then after 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, send me your proof. But before you do, you have to hit this question mark button. That's the frequently asked questions. And up come all of the questions that you're going to ask, okay? There, is what about gravity? What about eclipses? Well, we can see too far. Ships over the horizon. If I hit ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist. These are videos that Google will not serve to you. They're there, but they're hidden. They're shadow banned, right? And these videos will show you. This is what got me. I started watching these videos of people seeing things that should be over the curve, and I was like, you know what? I'm not just going to believe someone else's video, even though they're super well documented, and there's no reason not to believe them. And I bought a Nikon P900 super zoom camera. It was the best at the time. Went down to the beach, sat on the shore, zoomed in at 7 miles away. At another beach, I could see people sitting at the water's edge. They should be behind 400 inches. So what is that? I don't know. It's a lot of feet of curvature, like 20 feet of curvature. They should be hidden.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's amazing.
Don't judge my math. It's still too much curvature to see that.
I'm not good with math either.
Yeah. So, I saw a buoy that was 11 miles away. Round down, let's say it's only 10 miles away. There should be 66 feet of curvature, right? Now, the Globe troll channels will go, no, the curvature formula is wrong. You have to take half of it. Okay, they're wrong, but let's go 33 feet. Can still see the buoy, okay? I can not only see the buoy, I can see the water surface beyond the buoy. Well, the water surface should be below the curve, okay?
Yeah.
So, everything you need to know is in this app. If you see a video, you search, hey, top 10 reasons the Earth is flat. You're going to get top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe. Well, what you do is you go to this here, debunking the debunkers, and you find the video that has to do with the top 10 reasons. It's in here somewhere, and it basically breaks down how they're gaslighting you with all of their nonsense. Michelle Baylor, who says, she's a scientist, and Aristophanes, all other complete and total nonsense. There's also books. If you're a reader, you want to learn, tons of flat Earth books, more getting at it all the time. And that's how it works. So you're a little new to this. So do you know that the sky is a clock?
No.
So the sun is the hour hand. Right? The hour hand is supposed to go around once a day. But you know what the controllers did? They go, hey, let's make it go around twice a day. Otherwise, these people are going to figure it out. And we don't want them to figure it out because we want them to think that they're lost in space, spinning out of control and powerless. Right? So wherever the sun is, it's noon. Okay? I'm here in Connecticut. So it's approaching noon. And as soon as the sun is right straight down, bam, it's noon for me in Connecticut, okay? And now it's noon in Central. Now it's noon in Mountain. Now it's noon in the Pacific. And wherever the sun is. So right now the sun is rising in Sydney, right? But so the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. If I speed it up, you'll see that the sun is gaining on the moon, okay? Every time around, it just jumps a little bit. It's a smooth motion, but that's just the way the app works for now. And it laps the moon once every 28 days. Very interesting. That's a lunar cycle. There used to be 13 months of 28 days. 28 days. And they hijacked us, and they changed it to these crazy numbers. They hijacked our time, daylight savings, non-daylight savings. They literally are disconnecting us from the synchronicity with the Earth. And then the stars also rotate in the same direction. Sun, moon, and stars. Now, in the heliocentric model, they say, well, the Earth is going around the sun this way. The moon's going around the Earth this way. Okay? That's not true at all. Everything rises in the east, sets in the west, no matter where you are on Earth. Sun, moon, and stars rise in the east, set in the west. the stars are going slightly faster than the sun. So they lap the sun once a year, once every 365 times around. So right now the sun is in, I think it's Pisces. It'll slowly drift back into the next constellation, and it'll drift back, and it'll work its way through for about a month because it's slowly outrunning it. So the sun looks like it's drifting backwards through the constellations. Next year, same night, same time, if you went out tonight and charted the stars, they'll be in the exact same position. Exact same position.
Wow.
While we're here, let me show you how seasons work. So you've heard the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, right? Why are those two constellations the most important, right? Do you know why? Yeah, I always wondered. I'm like, why is there the Tropic of Pisces and the Tropic of Taurus, right? Well, the Tropic of Capricorn is this outer yellow line. The Tropic of Cancer is the inner yellow line. Okay? And on June 21st, the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer. So I'm going to jump it forward to June, March, April, May, and June. And in June, the sun is over the Tropic of Cancer. Now, where do you live? Where do you live?
Pennsylvania.
You're in Pennsylvania. Okay, I'm right outside of New York City.
Okay.
On the other side. And so in June, that's when the sun is as close as it gets to us. Okay, right? You're right over here. It's very small. And the sun comes around. We have our summer. Okay, the inner Arctic area has its summer. The outer Antarctic area has its winter. It's winter right now with the sun here in Australia because Australia is way out here. Okay, it's hot in Miami in June. You know why? Because the sun is directly over Miami. Think of the sun, the winter sun and the summer sun, as streetlights. You're standing under a streetlight in a long row, straight road, level road, and the streetlight over your head, that's your summer sun. The streetlight a block or two down, that's your winter sun. It's farther away. It's lower in the sky. You know it's the same height, but when you point at the one above you, you're pointing up. When you point at the one over there, you're pointing lower.
Yeah.
Right? That's your winter sun. So if I jump it forward 6 months, the sun moves all the way out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and everything out here is having their summer. It comes right over here. Australia has their summer. The sun goes right over them. Everything in between the two tropics is called, very easy, it's called the tropics. That's where all the tropical islands are because the sun is always over. It never goes too far away from them. It's just 6 months out, 6 months in, 6 months out, 6 months in. That's how seasons work.
Wow. This is all amazing stuff.
It is amazing.
This is so fascinating.
And if you think you're alone, right? This is the friend finder on here. These are all the people that have the app and have registered for the friend finder. So you can click on these dots and message these people. You can send out group messages. Look at the UK, right? This is a growing movement, if you will. Okay, it's not a movement. It's just a growing awareness, right? This is where I am, and let it load. And the inner circle you'll see is 50 kilometers, and it'll tell me how many people are within 50 kilometers. And I could, let's say we're having a meetup April 2nd in New York, and I could send out a group message. Right now, we're up to 316 people within 50 kilometers. I could type a message, send it to all of them, and this is how we're bringing people together instead of dividing people.
I like this. I like that. I didn't know you had that. You didn't show that last time.
I didn't because I didn't have it last time. And it's growing. We just went over 51,000, and you could tap on, you can zoom in, you could tap on a single dot, and you could send individual messages. You could also, people have profiles. And what's happening is, flat earthers that need to hire people want to hire flat earthers, and flat earthers only really want to work with flat earthers. So they're using it as a LinkedIn, right? They're using it as a dating app because every single person on the app is awake and aware of what's going on in the world, and you have more in common with them, male or female. They're either your best friend or possibly a romantic partner. It's amazing. There's already people getting married.
That's
because of that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I got to get this app. I can meet friends that are more like-minded like yourself.
Absolutely. You send a couple messages out. A lot of people have started, you send a group message out. Hey, we're meeting at so-and-so pizzeria, bar and grill, whatever, or park. And then everyone gets together. Then you start a Telegram group and you meet the first Sunday of every month or whatever you guys want. And it's happening everywhere. And every single person that you meet ends up being an amazing, awesome, awake, aware person. And that's what we need. If everyone woke up, people say, Dave, why are you focusing on flat Earth? There's so much other deception going on in the world. Well, I was focusing on those other deceptions, the New York event, the Boston event, the Connecticut event. And people go right back to sleep even after you show them undeniable proof that it wasn't what we were told. But when you wake someone up to flat Earth, they wake up. They all of a sudden can see. I call the heliocentric model the Matrix. Right? The Matrix, like the movie.
Yeah.
It's the Matrix for your mind.
Yeah,
it's a prison for your mind. And Neo at the end of the movie is unplugged from the Matrix. Those are flat earthers. Neo becomes a flat earther. He finds out where he lives. He unplugs himself from the complete and total bullshit of the helio nonsensical model, and he realizes where he is. What's your view on NASA?
Oh, I know it's a lot of it's bullshit. You know?
Okay. I
just don't
a
have
lot.
proof.
How about I show you some proof?
What do you think the International Space Station is? What do you think the International Space Station is? And what about those people that they said recently went up to space?
Yeah, well, let's take a look at all of that. So the International Space Station, you would have to agree, it's the most technological, advanced construction project in world history, right? Building that thing in space, it's got to be up there, right?
No.
No.
Well, if it's real, no.
If it's real, but they didn't. There's no photos or video of it being built, and now all of a sudden there's a Chinese one up there, and no photos or images of it being built. It's just there. Okay, give me a break.
That's hilarious.
It's beyond hysterical. It's absolute and total ridiculousness. But if you catch them faking space, then something's up, right? Here they're all getting together, right? This is done. They're hanging from wires. But look at this table right here. You have there's fruit sitting on the table, right? Some extra stuff going here. How's that fruit just sitting on the table if they're in space, right? How about this?
Oh my God.
How about this? Oh, that's a longer one. I gotta get rid of that. Here's one. Don Pettit. Have you ever seen Don Pettit talk? He's the one that goes, we can't go back to the moon because we lost the technology and it's a painful process to build it back again. He was showing how he took a piece of plastic and made a coffee cup out of it and that he could suck the coffee out of it. But look, the coffee becomes unsynced with the cup because it's CGI.
Wow.
It's unsynced, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And then one of my favorites, you got Chris Hatfield, who loves playing his guitar, and his buddy. Well, these guys are in different rooms. This guy's camera is upside down, right? And the guy that's holding the microphone misplaces where Chris is and sticks the microphone right inside his neck. Look at the mic. It's in his neck. And the NASA fanboys go, oh, it's compression, cosmic rays. It's like, give me a friggin' break, right? Watch this guy. Look, his head's transparent. That's showing that they're using layers. This is done on a zero-G plane, and there's no right-hand turn on a zero-G plane, so they faded him in. Look at his head is transparent. Okay? Yeah. Again, showing they're using layers. Now watch this. These guys, look, they always got these heavy utility belts on. These guys are hanging from harnesses. Look, you're in space. Why do you need a belt? Your pants going to fall down? Okay? Right? Their shirts are always tucked in, but look, he moves his arm and reveals the green screen.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right? Like when you move really fast, sometimes, the processing doesn't work. Like if I go like this, you can see the green in my hands because I got a green screen behind me.
That looks fake. It looks fake like they're having a green.
Look at his hand. Like all of this stuff is fake. All of it. It's amazing. And then This one here, these guys in the foreground, they're flipping the mic around. The guy's flipping his hat around. And this guy goes floating by way in the background. So I took it, I downloaded it, I zoomed in my editor. And you zoom in on this guy, and the layer that's supposed to hide his harness and wire isn't working. And there it is. He's hanging from a wire.
Oh, my God.
And the NASA fanboys go, they use harnesses for safety. What? Use harnesses for safety? How do you hang from a harness in 0G? Right? If you're hanging from wires, you're going to get strangled in space. Now watch this. In the script, he's supposed to hand this hat to this guy, and he's supposed to put it on the counter. Okay? But he accidentally moves his right arm, and this hat isn't real. It's augmented reality. Watch. He moves his arm. He thinks he's passing him the hat, and he grabs nothing and puts it away. Right? I got it just repeating here.
Oh, my God. And that guy looks like an idiot, too.
Oh, my God. And his eyes are like freaking out, and you listen to them talk.
I know,
They're like, yeah, they're like,
am I doing the right thing?
Yeah, and either they have contact lenses in, virtual reality contact lenses, or they're looking at a screen behind the camera, and they're manipulating things.
Look at how funny he looks. It's hilarious. He's like, am I doing it right?
And you should hear them, too. Now, look this. This ball is real, filled with helium. Look right here. That's not real. It's augmented reality. They beamed it in. They even put a little beaming thing there, right? They're just literally rubbing it in our face. It's augmented reality. They're again, she's probably using contact lenses, and she's moving things in real time, and they're just rendering it. That's why they very rarely ever do live things anymore, because they constantly get caught. This was a press conference, and everything that was floating disappeared. It glitched out. Everything that was floating glitched out. The guys, the piece, anything that was in the front that was floating around, and that's just showing that they're on a different layer. That's impossible. That only the floating things disappeared. Okay. Sometimes they're on a 0G plane. So this is Chris Hadfield doing a wringing out of not Chris Hadfield, whatever his name is. Maybe it is Hadfield. And he's wringing out a washcloth, and there's water in it. Right? Let me go back to that again. And he's showing how the water sticks to it. But on a 0G plane, they did the same experiment, and it's exactly the same. Okay? These people, you know what a 0G plane is? A plane that takes a parabolic arc?
Yeah.
It flies up, and it does a parabolic arc. And so these people are on a 0G plane, and this guy's trying to talk to the press or whatever. And why is he floating around? Why is he grabbing himself like that? Because the parabolic arc isn't going as smooth as they want. Maybe hit a little turbulence or something. Okay?
Yeah.
And so this is on a 0G plane, and this is supposedly, this is on a 0G plane too, but it just looks like the space station.
That looks so fake, this space station.
Yeah. And now, this happened on the news. They were talking to the news, and all of a sudden they slammed into the wall and they cut away. Well, this is the end of a parabolic arc. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So what happened is they're filming this sideways, and then something happened while they were talking on the news, and it came out of the arc, and they slammed into the wall. Okay, this is the movie, the television show, the Big Bang Theory, and he was just, he's floating around. Like, this is so easy to fake.
Yeah,
so easy to fake.
This has been amazing, man. This is eye opening.
It's once you, and basically, I only need to show you one thing, right? So this is a woman this is called the Argos system, and this is how they train for spacewalks. Look, this is a spacewalk. This is how they train. Look, you can almost see where the wires are. Okay? Absolute insanity. And then they're doing shenanigans with a guy in a gorilla suit. This is supposedly happened on the space station. They pulled a prank, right? And chased one guy in a gorilla suit. This is all tricks, right? This guy, look at this harness. You can see the wires pulling out of his shirt.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. And then these guys trying to do a flip, and he couldn't do it. He didn't have the leg strength, right? And he's just showing you how he's doing his flip. Look at this guy. I mean, look at his pants. What is going on in his pants there? Right? These guys are always holding themselves, funny.
Wow.
Sometimes they're upside down. Sometimes they're on a zero-G plane. Sometimes they're in a green screen studio. They mix it all up, right?
Wow. This is insanity. It's just so crazy. Like
Yeah.
that they're lying to us. Like,
When watch his arm, it becomes transparent again, showing layers, right? I show Wimpy eating every time he tries to eat his burger, it disappears as a comparison. So watch, I'll zoom in and watch his arm. Right there again on a zero-G plane. There's no right-hand turn, so they just fade him out. Watch,
wow.
look, watch this barcode there. Oh, you can see right through him. Again, showing layers, 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 layers. Then they get shills like Will Smith, and he's talking to the people on the space station. Okay, and he's wearing his spacesuit. Okay, and then at the end, of course, this guy takes off, goes up. Please, where's he going? He's just being pulled up on wires like David Copperfield. And then watch when he comes back. Look, his head is transparent. He's transparent again.
Yeah.
Watch, I think I show it again. He becomes again just showing you that there's layering going on here. Boom, transparent.
Oh my God.
Okay, see.
No.
And why are those flags hanging down? Shouldn't they all kind of be all over the place? Maybe they moved them around. Crazy, right?
It's insane. It's amazing, man. I have a whole new perspective on like what this world is.
Yeah.
For real.
Here. Let me show you. Let me show you this one. So let me just jump forward here. So this one we saw that, but so these guys here are having problems with the wires, okay? And hold on, let me go back. So watch. This is one. This is guy. He grabs his wire and he pulls them. Watch. He grabs his wire because something went wrong. But so watch this next one. She screws up, gets tangled, and he go quick. Look at the ball. He pulls a ball out of his pocket and spins it on his finger. Right. So she's screwing up, and if you listen to her, she's like laughing, and she's all tangled in her wires. And watch him. Quick. Oh, shit. Quick. Look at the ball. Look over here. I'm a magician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at the ball. You're like, oh, quick. Let me get that ball out. Woo. Look over here. Don't look over there because she's tangled in her wires. Many times when they try to do a flip, they'll get tangled. And their leg will get caught or something, and you could watch them unwind the wire off their arm. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Would you want to tell everybody where they can find you and stuff like that, and then find the app, how they get the app and everything? Like,
Yeah, so the app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. And you make sure it's by Blue Water Bay because on Android, there's already a Flat Earth Society one out there. Same name, some of the same graphics. It's a horrible app. Don't send me an email telling me my app sucks because my app in the Apple Store and the iOS Store and the Android Google Play Store are one of the highest rated apps there. It's $3. And you don't need to subscribe, but there is an $11 a year subscription if you want to be able to message people, if you want to use the weather app, which is amazing, or if you want to fill out or view other people's profiles. But you don't need to. $3, and you have an infinite amount of resources. Some new features coming out on the app very soon. I'll be talking about them on a future podcast. But Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app should show right up. But the easiest place, if you forget the name, because it's a really long, convoluted name, flatearthdave.com. All the links are there. Take the Flat Earth crash course, which is basically just a list of videos, and I challenge anyone to get through 3 of those videos and not lose the respect of their family and friends because they'll become flat earthers.
yeah, I had our first video up, but I got in a little bit of trouble on YouTube for a little bit, so I had to watch what I had on.
I was wondering what happened. Well, here's the thing. This doesn't get strikes. Nothing I talk about gets shut down by YouTube. It just gets hidden, and it gets a little tag underneath it that says, Flat Earth is an archaic theory that's been debunked, for 2,000 years by Aristophanes, and that's all nonsense. Once you really look into it, it's all nonsense.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, this has been awesome. You have me thinking a whole new different way now, honestly. Like, I have a lot to question.
It's a
After
lot. It's a lot. And just get the app, watch the daily video. Right next to the daily video is the archive button. If you don't want to wait a day for the next video, all the previous videos organized by year and month are there. Start watching those. Hit the frequently asked questions. Go there. Go to the more resources page. Tons of stuff. Tartaria stuff there. The lost history of flat Earth is there. All my interviews, including this one, are there. Okay.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So check that out and educate yourself. Don't believe anything I say. Go figure it out yourself. I'm just showing you where to figure it out and how to get out of their traps, if you will.
It's well said, man. That's really well said.
All
Well,
right.
thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. Have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, Dave.